Hello, everyone, and welcome to an all-new episode of the SM Football Marks podcast. Palace, your host, and my co-host, Abe in the house.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy? Week 1's in the books.
Yes,
Where do you want to start off? A lot of stuff to get into before we get into Week 2.
Let's go with the Bucks and the Cowboys game recap.
Woo-hoo! Let's go, baby. Where do you want to start with this?
I was impressed by the Cowboys on the Dallas side with the offense, and especially how Dak came back from the injury.
Hey, let me ask you real quickly, or I want to get after you real quick. You have not been the biggest Dak supporter on this show, but, you know, I consider you to be a fair guy and give somebody their props. Like, how do you think he fared in his opening game after coming back from injury and all the speculation with his shoulder and everything? Do you give him, like, are you a believer now, or do you think this was like it's a short-term thing? Like, what are your thoughts? I want to know what you're thinking about your quarterback.
I mean, I believe in him now.
Mm-hmm.
Watching him play against the Bucks defense, it's pretty much was Dak versus Tom.
Mm-hmm.
It was back and forth. They both had, picks. But I think Dak moved the ball well. And same thing with Tom. It all relied on our defense, of course, where we couldn't guard Antonio Brown and Gronkowski, Godwin.
Real quickly for the audience, Abe texted me. I remember exactly when it happened, and he was like, "Hey, Brady doesn't know what to do with the Cowboys defense," and I was like, "What are you talking about? This guy's like scoring touchdowns like nothing." And then the next play is Antonio Brown on a route just from a blown coverage, but still. Regardless, Brady was getting it done. Our
Anthony Brown, on the other end, was just getting torched all night by Antonio Brown. Pretty sad, But like I said, really impressed with Dak's play, and I hope it continues on. This was a really hard-fought game. We actually should have won.
You can same thing for the Bucks because if
kicker,
it weren't for those 2 turnovers, that game would have been over.
Well, yeah, but then
it wouldn't have been as close as it could have been.
Do you want to bring up the offensive pass interference, the final play?
We can. That could have gone either way. Like, I was replaying that specific play like over and over, and the media was obviously, of course. If you show it in slow motion, yeah, it looks egregious, but also like. And I'm not trying to defend it either because, again, it could have gone either way. Like, they could have called it and I would have been, all right, whatever. Right. It still would have been enough time for Brady to come back anyway. But Godwin doesn't extend fully. And also, there's, like, acting from that part of the Cowboys defender where he's, like, flopping back. Like his head's, like, bouncing back. Like, dude, calm down. Like, it's not like he, like... and plus, he was in a weird position because the way his body was turning, like, that's an unnatural catch, and only Brady could have put that ball in that position. So it's not like it'd be one thing if Tom Brady was throwing overhead, but he was throwing back shoulder. So, it could have gone either way. Like, obviously it went towards the way of the Bucks, but I certainly wouldn't have made a big deal out of it had it been called.
That's true. I really thought this game was going to be a blowout. I know I made a prediction that week of it being like 38, like 17. But I'm still, with the Bucks winning, I'm still on the undefeated train. Now it looks, they have a fairly easy schedule now from now until I think around Thanksgiving, maybe early December. I think
you say that, and on paper, maybe yes, but also like. Everybody's going to be looking to knock them off because they're the reigning champs.
Can they, though?
If they're going to be into battles like they were with the Cowboys, where it's like week to week, like teams are going to step up. Maybe harder for that undefeated season. I'm still going to try it because this is the one season for it to. If it's going to happen, it's going to be this year. But also, like, they lost Sean Murphy-Bunting for a couple weeks. That's a huge blow to the defense, even though they've got a little bit of depth there. Defense didn't play particularly well. No. Freaking CeeDee Lamb was getting open as shit. And I mentioned this on my Facebook video post the game. It's like, dude, that guy, like, it didn't matter where he was. I was like, double, triple cover him. Just like they took away Evans from the game. Evans didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was.
So I'll give the defense props on that. But that paved the way for like Gronk and Brown and Godwin. So, yes, the Bucs are loaded on offense, but for me right now, I'm more worried about the defensive side of things.
Yeah,
and they got to tighten up there, especially in the secondary.
I mean, if Antonio Brown plays like he played this game, I mean, I don't see them. I see them being able to keep up with any other team that tries to, do the same thing maybe the Cowboys did, like it was back and forth scoring.
I'm sure like the Bucs coaching staff doesn't have him like high up on the list, but Brady wants to make him his number one, right? Because that's just like it's an unbeatable combination. It's almost like I don't know if it's close to the Randy Moss level, but it's the closest thing to it, right? In terms of like, hey man, I'm gonna let it rip and you go get it, and he'll make it happen,
right?
But it's going to be interesting to see how that continues to evolve. Even though Brady's not like that, he's going to give it to the player that's the most open, so he doesn't care who it is, as long as they're in the right spot for the catch.
Right. So I believe I saw something on Twitter today where it said that Tom Brady like plans or sees himself playing till like 55.
55? No, I heard 50. I was watching.
Was it 50?
It was 50 because it was a thing he did with Gronk where they were answering fan mail and they asked if he could see himself playing to 50, and he said it's not impossible. He said like he feels good and he could do it. Let's say he does, like hypothetically, and let's say he plays like decent, like well enough. Is it gonna look bad on Bill Belichick for not trying to do more to sign him? Because it's like you're basically getting like a third prime act with Brady, and it's like, man, you could have like continued to win consistently with Tom playing at a high level. What are your thoughts on that? Hypothetically, if you could place the 50, is it one of the worst decisions?
No,
for Belichick?
For Belichick, yes. Because,
I'm saying in terms of his legacy and in terms of him being the GM.
Yeah, it's you should. Why get rid of him? I mean, he's what does he have? The best offseason program. Like he keeps himself in shape. He looks really good.
Yeah.
And then playing as well. So. Yeah, I think Belichick is kind of let him go. It shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I would have kept him.
Yeah.
Not saying like the new era with Mac Jones, but if you figure like if you had Tom Brady and then you drafted Mac Jones and then you had Mac Jones studying off of him,
You think? I think. Let's say they still had Brady. I think Mac Jones still would have been around like in the late rounds where you could have gotten him.
Possibly, yeah.
So it could have worked out, but it's going to be interesting to see. So if Brady does end up playing longer than 45, and then if he does and plays at a high level, it's going to look bad on Belichick.
Real bad.
But Brady's an anomaly. Like I know players are like, oh, I can see myself playing for this long, but the thing is, Brady's like, I don't know if you've ever watched the Tom versus Time thing on Facebook. Like that guy's just obsessed with football. Like I don't think like these younger kids, like they may be more athletic and all that stuff. I don't think they're as obsessed with the game, and it's going to be interesting. Like I wonder, like Mahomes. Like I know he wants to win as much as Brady, but like, are you committed? Are you watching film in the off season, like psychotically the way Brady does? Learning the craft and working on your mechanics and all that stuff. It's just going to be very interesting. But that was a little newsworthy this week. Let's talk about other. Do you have anything more to add on this game?
It was a great game.
I said it on my Facebook video. I gave the Cowboys a lot of props, and this is coming from someone that's always teasing Cowboys Nation and all that stuff. But they played a hell of a game. It did a high number. It was the best opening season game since 2015. So that just goes to show you, like, not only because it's the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys usually draw ratings. But the fact that the game came down to the wire, it was like a playoff game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be mad if this were the NFC Championship game. So, and I don't know if you remember, I did really early on predict like ridiculously Bucs Cowboys NFC Championship.
Yeah, you did.
But speaking of the Cowboys, let's talk about some of the injuries that they sustained, including didn't somebody get COVID also as well?
Randy Gregory.
Okay, and DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be out like
6 to 8 weeks.
Damn, that's. And the defense is not. They played well.
Yeah.
In the opener, but
Well, now you're out. You're both right and left ends on defensive line.
But you're not worried?
I'm not.
Because now you're putting it all on Dak, and you're going to have to see more from Elliott. We knew he wasn't going to do anything Thursday because that Bucs run defense is just incredible.
They both took the running backs out, so it was just pretty much like a passing kind of game, pretty much. But I'm not too worried. I feel like Micah Parsons will like get back into reality because he kind of looked lost.
He was also everywhere, though.
Yeah,
God,
he was everywhere.
Damn,
but
I was scared of that guy.
I knew he was a little confused at times on the plays, but I mean, I think he'll bounce back. They still have N'Keal Harry that will. Oh no, not N'Keal Harry. I can't remember the guy from Atlanta. Had a little Atlanta. He used to be in Atlanta.
Oh my god!
I think it's Neal. There we go, Neal.
Okay.
Now he's a linebacker as well, so I think they're going to switch it up a little bit. They're going to look at some help. I do know that there's a couple of free agents out there, and they said Jaquan Quan.
Mm-hmm.
They might do like one of those like prove it contracts, because I know he was asking for big money, which is why he's still a free agent. I know Sherman's still out there. I think they were talking a possibility because of Anthony Brown getting burned.
Remember when Richard Sherman tried to break into his girlfriend or whatever's house? I like how the media forgot about all that, but whatever.
They definitely forgot. It was just like water under the bridge.
There's video on that. Yeah. Whatever. Media have biases. It's whatever. It's because he's woke. That's why. Whatever. Yeah. Props to the Cowboys. I mean, we'll see what happens with these injuries. I think they're going to become too Dak reliant. And that's usually the case. And as our little friend Jake likes to say, no Dak, no chance. Actually, that kind of I poke at him for that. But if you were to lose him, like that's it. Like you don't have nothing.
We don't have
no chance.
And also
so I'll give him props for saying that. You're going to hear that a lot.
We're going to be without Gallup too. Because he got injured.
Oh, yes.
For a week. So now, you have Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and then now you got to rely on your tight ends, Jarwin.
Josh Gordon's out there.
True. Man, who knows? Possibility. But, I mean, Zeke needs to step up, too, though.
Yeah.
So,
what did you learn from week one? I know it's week one. But what did you see this weekend that you like?
Oh my gosh!
Specifically, anything top of your head?
A couple of games I'm going to talk about. Not too in depth, but I just want to give about Matthew Stafford. Holy cow! His Ram debut. I mean, yeah, you said it was against the Bears.
No, I'm going to give him his props. He did well.
But I mean, damn! Like I think that's what the LA Rams needed. I think they were talking. I think the reporters were saying during the game, Sean McVay didn't want to be a teacher. He didn't want a teacher-student. He wanted like a brother type. And that's what he got with Stafford because Stafford's already been in the game for so long. He connected really well. Also, the Texans surprised the hell out of me with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
I really thought the Jags were going to do this. And also, speaking of the Jags, there's a little bit of like a whole like distraction with USC College having like an open vacancy. So Urban Meyer's like, no, I'm committed to the Jags and building this, franchise. Or
people are saying he's going to bail.
Well, now they're connecting him to that job, and it's just like, is he going to bail? I mean, it's been known in the past where some of these college coaches come and take these NFL jobs, and they don't succeed, and they like feel like they need to push the panic button and abandon. Yeah. So I mean, he's saying he's going to stick, but I mean that's been said before.
I'll give him the season, but like, where there's smoke, there's fire. I guess with this stuff.
I think I've
been hearing some stuff too.
Yeah, so I think if that USC job like lingers around for a little bit, I mean, I don't know if we see he goes down 0-2, but
but we know they're not going to win a lot of games. But I mean, both you and I picked them, I think, right? For this past weekend.
Yeah, we did. But I mean, Tyrod Taylor, jeez. Yeah. Also, I want to give Jameis Winston. I know I was hard on him.
Shit.
He didn't have a lot of yards passing, but my God, he was just connecting with touchdowns and he was moving the ball. I mean, Alvin Kamara, he was spreading the ball around. They don't have Michael Thomas.
They don't have him yet.
They don't have him yet. And I was watching. I know you gave me shit because you were like, "Why are you watching this blowout?" And but I'm like, I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like he doesn't want to be there. We all know he doesn't want to be there. But
I was actually going to ask you. So, do you think they laid an egg, or do you think there's something deeper going on there?
I don't think he'll have a game like that again this season or his career. But I feel like he just was like, fuck it, like
the urgency's not there.
It's not
if he loses, he loses.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with Devontae Adams, because they're both. I know they stopped negotiation talks with Adams as well.
Yeah.
He stopped. So I don't know if they're like plotting, but I figured they would ball out so that way they can get paid this offseason. But I saw that game and I was just like, that's not Aaron Rodgers.
I want this on record. I have Aaron Rodgers in fantasy. He's the biggest reason why I lost week 1 to fucking Jake Ramirez of all people. Yeah. I'm giving him one more week. If he blows it against the Lions, who surprisingly came back on the 49ers closely.
Yeah.
But if he blows it against Detroit, I'm benching him for Mac Jones and I'm dropping his ass. Like, I'm not wasting any time with that. So it might be nothing, but we'll see. If he ends up like dropping 40 on the Lions, then I'm not going to worry. But it was just very strange. I didn't get to see any of that game. I was already at work or in the middle of work while that game was going on. But one of my buddies who's a huge Saints fan texted me the score, and I was like, what? Like, what happened here? Yeah. Jameis just balling out, and I don't know. I mean, again, it's week 1, so, you know, the Texans showed out. The Eagles showed out against the Falcons, so do we really want to read into a lot of this stuff, or do we just want to see how it plays out after a couple of weeks?
Yeah. Also, Buffalo. I was kind of shocked that they lost at home.
The expectations were a little too high,
possibly.
Or is Pittsburgh just getting back on track? But I think Pittsburgh still got some issues, especially like in the run game. I mean, you can't ask Ben Roethlisberger to throw like the way he was throwing last year, and that ended up being their downfall.
Yeah.
Browns. I know everybody's poking at them and calling them choking and all that stuff, but they're going to be a good team. Like, they're going to... I mean, it's freaking Kansas City. What did you expect? It's Patrick Mahomes. It's like, you know, who's the next best one other than Brady? It's him. So, I mean, for him to make a comeback like that, it's not shocking. Like, you know, the great quarterbacks know how to do that. You know, if the Browns want to get past that hump, like, Baker's going to have to come up big in those moments. And we'll see later on in the season, but I'm not worried about them. And everyone's like, they choked or whatever. But this is going to be a good loss for them. Like, they'll learn from it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
What else? Carson Wentz ended up playing week 1. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, and he wasn't too bad either. He didn't look too bad.
They played the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, they played the Seahawks. He had a pair of touchdowns, but other than, I mean, it's Seattle. So
Seattle's going to be really good.
Exactly.
All the NFC West won. All of there was another division, the NFC North all lost. I thought there was another division that went undefeated.
AFC.
Was it the AFC West?
AFC West.
Chargers won. Broncos won. Raiders won.
Yes.
And the freaking Chiefs won.
And the Chiefs. Yeah.
So those are like your two best conferences or divisions in each conference.
Right.
Excuse me. Anything else noteworthy?
No, that's it on those.
Okay. I guess you want to talk a little bit more about fantasy. You won your week. You won big. Week 1. So props to you, reigning champ.
It was 165 to 107.
Folks, let me ask you something, audience. This guy here, Abe, defending champion, gets the draft early in the draft. I feel like a rule should be for this is a hot take for me on any fantasy league. If the champion wins, they have to draft last. Like I just think it should be like the real NFL draft.
It was generated
by
auto pick.
Okay, commissioner. But props to you. Your team did freaking fantastic, and I look forward to our matchup, which is NBC Sunday Night Football. I forgot what week it is.
Game, I believe I told you it was week 6.
There's going to be a lot of trash talk that week. You know, there's bets on the line. I'm sure. I mean, we still have our bet for the Cowboys-Panthers game, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go. But our bet's still going to be going on. Abe's still going to represent this podcast well over there.
Week 8.
Week 8 is when we duel in fantasy. Like I already gave you my hot take for my team. If Aaron Rodgers blows it again, I'm dropping him and starting Mac Jones. Because actually, let's talk about Mac Jones a little bit. Played particularly well against this Dolphins defense.
Yes.
They lost only by 1 point, and no picks, no sacks. Patriots defense needs to step it up a little bit more, which I thought they were going to right out the gate, but
right.
Tua.
He was 29 of 39 for 281. Not bad.
Like over like a 60% or almost 65% like completion percentage on his passes.
And he used Nelson Aguilar. I told you that guy was,
And Damian Harris. That guy's going to be a beast as a running back. So, for any of your fantasy leagues out there, if you see him out there on the waiver wire, pick him up. That guy's going to be something. Even though I think he did fumble late in that game.
Yeah,
but,
he did. But that's okay.
Miami defense is pretty good. I think I have them on one of my fantasy teams. So I went 1-1 in both of my leagues. How about you, Abe? How many leagues are you in?
I'm in 4.
God bless. How do you do it?
I'm in 4. So
I mean, 2's
won.
the max for me.
I won in 3 and lost in 1.
And that was because what happened in the one that you lost?
I didn't switch out OBJ.
Who did you have?
I didn't have any. I couldn't switch it on time.
Okay.
So, and I had.
See, that's what happened. That's why you don't do 4 leagues.
I know. And I had Devontae Parker on the bench. I mean, not that he did any better, but I mean, he had some kind of fantasy points.
So, looking at projections for week 2, are you projected to win in our league?
I'm projected to lose.
I think I'm also projected to lose.
Yeah. But I was projected to lose the first game. And
I mean, you never know how these things are going to go. I mean, it's still, we're recording this on a Thursday right before the Giants and Washington football team game, so we'll get our picks in for that before we start our week 2.
Tyler Henke. Oh, yeah, we forgot to talk about Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, is that probably the biggest quarterback?
Yeah,
that's the biggest injury.
That's the biggest one.
So Taylor Heineke is going to get the start, and we'll talk about that game in just a bit. But I think that's going to be I think it's going to be a positive. So the NFC East is looking very interesting. Do you want to make of anything of the Philadelphia Eagles, or are you just chalking that up to it being week 1?
I mean, Jalen Hurts looked good, but I mean, of course, it's against Atlanta.
But Atlanta's got a loaded offense; they couldn't do shit.
They couldn't do anything. But Jalen Hurts looked good. Jalen Reagor, I think that's how you say his name. Their defense is still good. They have a good defense. Yeah. I don't think we should count them out.
Is it fair to say the NFC East is not maybe going to be the worst division this year? Might be the AFC or NFC North.
It could be the NFC North.
Because the Vikings lost, right? Against the Bengals.
Yeah. What's weird, because I know I had talked about Jamar Chase like dropping all these balls because he said that the ball is different in the NFL than it is in college, and I'm like, get the hell out of here with that shit. But he balled out. Him and Burrow. Oh my gosh! I mean, it's kind of scary. I don't know. I mean, but of course that's week 1.
Right. But still, the Vikings have always had a decent enough defense.
Yeah, they've got a decent defense, but I mean, I don't know. Bengals could be something. I mean,
they're in a hard division,
but they are. But I mean, they balled out. So, I was gonna say maybe the NFC East, the Giants, but I know I'm real high on their defense. But I mean, they were like toe to toe with Denver, and then it just, Daniel Jones had a couple of
the quarterback.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
I think that's what's gonna hinder them.
It's that, and who's their head coach? That knucklehead Garrett. So of course,
he's the coordinator though.
No, isn't he the coach?
No, the coach is freaking the guy from New England.
That's right. Because I know they said that he called a play like on 3rd and like I think 15 or 18, and I can't remember what play it was, but they said that he ran the same play in Dallas, and they would always get stuffed. So I can't remember the play, but either way, I was laughing because I was like, typical, Garrett.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the coach's name on the Giants. That's going to bother me for a bit. He used to be on the Patriots coaching staff, which is why like their defense has been pretty stout like these last couple of seasons. Anything else? Gosh, it's just it's going to be a lot of week 1 overreactions across the board. I'm sure for those of you that listen to multiple like football podcasts and stuff, or if you watch your stuff on ESPN and Fox Sports, it's just a lot of overreaction, and it's going to be a long season. So some of these teams that won big in week 1, they may not really be good towards the end of the season. So
Joe Judge, God bless. Okay, all right. We good on the fantasy front. We are.
Yeah, well, so I'm 1-1, you're 1-0. We'll see where we're at come week 8. The big showdown, the big Sunday night game. You want to jump into week 2?
Power rankings or?
Oh, yeah, my God, let's do that. Sorry. So we have our power ranking teams that we're going to do every week. First, before the rankings, how do we do in pick'ems?
On picks, Robert, you came out with 8-8.
Let's go.
Even, and then I went 7-9.
Yikes! It's all right. It's early in the season. There's going to be some surprises, and again, folks, we're doing this. This is the first time we're seeing each other talking about notes, so we're not gonna know who's picking who in the week 2 matchups. So everything's gonna be fresh, and we're gonna be reacting to each other's picks here. And then our power rankings. How do you want to do this? You want to list your teams first? You want to go me 5, you 5, me 4, you 4? Do you want to do it like that, or just list them?
We can go back and forth.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
I'll go first. My number 5, they probably should have been a little higher, but I have them at 5. The New Orleans Saints, powerhouse team. They came out. Jameis Winston, proven point. He could still be, balling out. So I have New Orleans. Their defense looked pretty good as well.
I know we kind of wrote off the Saints kind of being like in rebuilding just because they lost Drew Brees, but we have to remember that Drew Brees was injured during a lot of these last few seasons, and other players stepped in, and the Saints were just fine, including like Bridgewater went in at one point and got it done.
Right. I think they went 5-0.
So I think
Bridgewater.
I think we underestimate this team as a whole, and Sean Payton just as an overall head coach. Like, we have to give him more props as far as like being one of the best in the business. My number 5 is the San Francisco 49ers. Came out swinging huge. I know it was against the Detroit Lions, even though they made a rally late. I don't know what happened there. There was trade-offs between Jimmy G and Trey Lance. So we saw a lot of that this weekend. The Bears did it with Fields and Dalton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the 49ers are going to be a nice little force there to be reckoned with. Just the entire NFC West, to be honest. If we did a top 10, like I'm sure Seattle would have been my number 6, and I'm sure Arizona would have been there at some point because Arizona had a good showing against the Titans, but I don't have them that far ahead. But 49ers, again, it's week 1. People were laughing at some of my rankings here, but folks, like, it's going to be wacky at the beginning, and then by mid-October, closer to Thanksgiving, we'll have things settled as where they're supposed to be. Who do you got at number 4?
Number 4, I have the San Fran. I have the 49ers. Garoppolo looked, good. Threw for 314. Mostert went out with an injury.
Oh, that's a huge blow to the Niners.
Yeah, and people out there, you guys, I know y'all do fantasy, but don't be doing like they were getting death threats, letters. His family, Mostert's family, like
for getting hurt.
His wife.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, his wife was saying something like they sent notes, and they also sent a letter to Mostert to like kill yourself. Like, come on,
man.
Like it happens. This is a sport. But
that's so stupid.
It's dumb. Like, I mean, I know we're all in fantasy. We want to win, but
shit,
crap happens. Goff looked pretty good though, not too bad. He threw for over 300. And then of course you have Deebo Samuel. I mean, they don't really have that number 1 receiver in San Fran, other than if you consider Kittle, but not a bad game.
Okay. My number 4 is the Los Angeles Rams. I know it was a lot of talk about I want to see it to believe it, and there was just all this talk already of Matthew Stafford being like this big time savior, and the Rams are a force to be reckoned with, and I was like, I got to see it. They didn't play in the preseason, so I wondered if that was going to be a factor because, again, it took Brady a while to get used to the system in Tampa Bay, and this is coming from a guy who's like done it for so long, and being in one place. Like, Matthew Stafford's been with the Lions like his whole career. It wasn't like he was a guy that was jumping around from team to team. So was he going to be able to adjust really quickly? And he did. Showed out, played particularly well. But again, you were going up against Andy Dalton, which in that freaking game, we didn't talk about this, or we talked about it off air, but there was a couple of points in this game where they went for it twice on like 4th, and it was more than 5 on both occasions. And it's like, why are you going for it? And especially with Andy Dalton, like, you're not going to get it. You're not like, it's rare to go for it 4th and 5 with like Mahomes or Brady, much less 4th and 9, like twice around that area. And you giving the ball to Andy Dalton,
I thought at those times they were probably going to put in Fields, maybe to do like trick like Wildcat or something, but no, it was Andy Dalton. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
But that game was competitive for a while early, so
very early.
I'm going to put this more though on the. I know I mentioned the Dalton stuff, but this was more on the Bears defense. There was a lot of blown coverages too on some of those bombs that Matt Stafford threw. So. I mean, I don't see them benching Dalton just yet, but like he wasn't the reason they lost on Sunday. So, but I'll give the Rams their props. They looked good. but the entire NFC West won, so it's going to be a battle in that division.
Yeah.
Who do you got at 3?
I have the LA Rams. I know early on in our pod, before the season started and even before fantasy, I was like, Stafford, I'm not, holy cow, yeah, I'm kind of rooting for him now. I saw the game. I saw the whole game, and he looked comfortable. He had a whole bunch of time to pass. He connected with Cooper Kupp. Is that his name?
Yeah.
So, their connection was great. But, like you said, there was some blown coverages in Chicago. And Khalil Mack, it looks like he's kind of slowing down. I think he's getting into his 30s. I don't think he's a threat anymore as far as what I saw.
Right.
But props to Matthew Stafford. His wife was there. They were all cheering. They looked happy. He looked comfortable. So I got the Rams.
Okay. At number 3, I got the New Orleans Saints. Again, we talked about it already. Jameis Winston threw for 5 touchdowns. I'm shocked he didn't get FedEx Player of the Week over the air. That actually went to Brady. But Brady had a great game. Don't get me wrong. But Jameis Winston didn't really get mentioned a lot. And I have the Saints high, and people wonder why do you rank your teams the way you do? The Saints not only did they win, they won against a team that was just in the NFC Championship game. I know there was the stuff with Aaron Rodgers, the drama and all that stuff, but this is a team that was right in contention for a Super Bowl last year. A lot of the same players returning and stuff. So you figure that's a playoff team that they played. It didn't look like it by the end of it, but on paper it's dude, that was a team that just competed. So that's why I have the Saints ranked high, and plus they played really well. So again, much more credit to Sean Payton than we give him. He's one of the top coaches in the NFL. Number 2.
Number 2, I got Kansas City.
I do as well, so we can bounce off each other in this one.
It was close for Cleveland. It would have been an upset, but of course, Mahomes had I think he's the one that had the winning touchdown score.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
I just don't understand how when he throws these bombs, how is Tyreek Hill always super open? I don't get that.
And he's small. He's so
I don't
small,
get it.
So easy.
When I saw that throw that he made, I was let me guess, Tyreek Hill solo away from where there's nobody around. I don't understand how that happens. I don't know how you don't double, triple cover that guy every single game. Do the game plan that you did that Tampa did in the Super Bowl. The how do you call it? The map is there the blueprint is there on how to beat them. So, but props to Mahomes. Everyone's gonna say the Browns blew it, they choked, but dude, it's the Chiefs, the reigning AFC champs, and it's Mahomes. I picked them to win just because I think the Chiefs are gonna be real angrier earlier, just coming off of that Super Bowl loss, but the Browns are gonna be a force to be reckoned with. I'm sure by the time it's all said and done, they may be a top 5 team on this ranking list, so it's gonna be a good season for Cleveland, but Baker, if they're going to want to get over that hump, Baker's got to make those plays in the crucial moments of the game. So we'll see what happens. But Chiefs, yeah. And then, of course, our number 1 is the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions,
the Bucs.
And that's the only reason I have them number 1. Until you knock off the champs, there's no reason why to not put them at number 1, and especially if they win, of course. Nail biter on Thursday. Brady played tremendous. I know. Everything you got to look in context. He threw 2 picks, but one of them was a Hail Mary, and one of them bounced off Fournette. So, I feel like those interceptions shouldn't count, and I agree with some of the analysts that say that on TV. They're those interceptions shouldn't count in the box score against quarterbacks. But 4 touchdowns, almost 400 yards passing?
Yes.
Brady's going to be in contention for MVP if he continues playing at this level. And especially if he's able to, now he's going to have AB for a full season. Gronk looks better than ever. Holy shit.
Gronk looked good.
I know people don't really talk about him as a top tight end anymore, but dude, this guy's a once in a lifetime tight end player. Yeah. I know everyone talks about Kelsey, but Kelsey don't block the way Gronk blocks, and Kelsey don't adjust the way Gronk does at the line. And you saw that play right where he's where Brady checked him and then does that touchdown, and it's just gravy for them.
Saw that on
incredible. Anything else you want to say about the Bucs?
No, they have a good matchup coming up though.
They do.
not this next one, but the week 4.
Yeah, but you figure they lost the turnover battle. They lost time of possession in this game, and they still won. So, I mean, they have a lot of things to correct, but if you really want to beat the Bucs, like, you got to beat them, like, because they can find so many different ways to win. And I don't want it to be a point where it's always going to have to be on Brady's shoulders, because I don't think he's still at a top level, but you can't ask him to do that every single time. Like, the defense has got to be the one to, like, you know, control games sometimes, and then where they run it and run out clock and stuff like that. And but I don't know. Maybe Brady does want to show that he's still like that quarterback. So,
well, like they said, you know, you give Brady a minute 20, that's like giving him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so
well, that's why I was saying, like, I have to look back at what time that Godwin play happened, because let's say they did call it.
Yeah.
Who's to say, like, there's still a lot of time on the clock. So, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, those are our power rankings for the week. You can agree with them or disagree with them. Doesn't matter. It's week 1, so if there's some stuff out of left field, teams that we left out. Somebody thought I left out the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, okay, but laughing. I mean, to me, they got to prove it to earn it on this list. Like, I mean, it's still Derek Carr, it's still, you know, John Gruden. They still have a lot to prove. The Ravens are a good squad, but right now they're cursed, right? Like, they picked up another running back.
Devontae Freeman.
Yes, they were just like, geez, like, how many running backs are they picking up? Like,
and he was, I believe he's the one from Texas or the Texans. Yeah, so
I know it's in division, and this is the NFC West, but the 49ers need to go ask the Seahawks for some running backs, because they got a huge load of them on their roster. So,
Seattle.
I want to see. I'm curious to see what San Francisco does to improve on that front. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to jump into week 2?
We are ready.
Let's put week 1 in the books. We said what we needed to say on everything. Let's jump into these games, my friend. And let's start with tonight's Thursday night game between the New York Football Giants facing the Washington Football Team in Washington. Obviously, we talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick being out for this game, so in comes Taylor Heineke, the standout from the wild card weekend when they played the Bucs last season in the playoffs, and he had a great showing in that game. Obviously, there's tape on him now.
Right.
The Bucs defense was progressively getting better at that point, so he stood his ground there in that game. So I'm going to jump on this Taylor Heineke bandwagon, man. I'm going with the Washington Football Team here, and I know I picked the Cowboys for the division, but if Taylor Heineke shows up here with that Washington defense, watch out. It could be a big battle in the NFC East, and it won't be such a runaway like some people may think with the Cowboys winning. But I got Washington over the Giants because I don't trust Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Same here. I got Washington over the Giants. They were neck and neck with Denver for a little while, and Daniel Jones just flopped like a doof. And, there's just no way. A lot of injuries on the Giants side. And Washington has that. I'm higher on their defense. Their defense is really good. Chase Young.
Yeah.
So I got to go Washington. And right now, Daniel Jones and Galladay haven't connected, and I think they lost. Or they have Shepard. He's been there, but he's like hot or cold. So I'm going Washington.
Okay. All right. Did you say everything you needed to say on that?
I'm good on that one.
All right. That's tonight, and luckily we got that out of the way before the game kicks off. Let's head into Sunday's games. These are all the 12 o'clock noon games, depending where you're at, folks. Let's start with my New England Patriots, 0-1, traveling to face Zach Wilson and the New York Jets, also 0-1. I'll let you go on this one.
I'm going to go with the Pats. I think they're going to bounce back from that Miami trip. I know they're playing in New York, but I think Zach Wilson is in a bad setup over in the Jets. They're just a mess. They're in a rebuild. I think they should have got somebody like a veteran to just continue to play there, so that way they can, so that Zach can learn from it. And they also need to get like wide receiver help. I think they have Jamison Crowder coming back. That's not going to be enough. I'm going to go Pats.
I'm actually starting, I think, the Patriots defense over the Bucs this weekend. Belichick's record against rookie QBs is impeccable. Like, he's basically almost undefeated. I think the only one he couldn't get to was like Mark Sanchez, I think. It might have been that. I could be wrong. But basically anytime Bill Belichick faces a rookie QB, like, it's not even Mahomes, like, he beat him his first go. So is not going to be a good trip for the Jets here. I mean, even though they're at home.
Right.
I'm expecting the Patriots D to play a little bit better than they did against the Dolphins. So they're going to show out. I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers here in this game. They're not going to have Mac Jones do enough. A lot. He's going to do just enough. But I see this looking like a 20-3 type game. But yeah, I'm going with the Patriots as well. Let's move on. We got the 1-0 Denver Broncos traveling to face is he still the head coach, Urban Meyer, and Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars at 0-1. That's what you get. You want to not have Tim Tebow on your squad? This is what happens.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll start off here. Broncos got a really good defense. Bridgewater, I mean, what can you say? At this point right now, I'm picking him over Trevor Lawrence. Jaguars wet the bed against the Texans, which that could have been a win for them, at least to start off Trevor Lawrence's career on the right track.
Right.
But I didn't like anything that I saw from the Jaguars. That game I got to watch a little bit of and was not impressed. And I knew they weren't going to be a good squad at all, but right now the Broncos are more well-oiled. I'm going with them.
I'm going to go with the Broncos, even though they lost Jerry Jeudy to an injury. I think he's only out for a few weeks. But they still have Noah Fant as a tight end, big guy. Yeah. Melvin Gordon ran really well. So, the Jaguars, I didn't really – I mean, the Tyrod Taylor was just, doing everything, running, throwing the ball against the Jaguars defense. I got to go Broncos.
Okay. Anything else on this game?
No. Good.
Next up, we got the 0-1 Buffalo Bills traveling to face the AFC East leading Miami Dolphins at 1-0. You want to start on this one?
I'm going to go with the Dolphins,
Okay.
as this will be my upset game. Brian Flores, he's a really good coach, great. And I think Tua's kind of getting into his element. And their defense isn't that bad either as well. I think they got the whole Xavier Howard thing behind them. So
Right.
now moving forward, I didn't see anything good come out of the Bills when they played the Steelers. I really thought that was going to be a blowout. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I think they're going to have a better showing here. They know that they have to play better. They know if they want to contend and be one of the top teams in the AFC. They can't start 0-2. And they can't start 0-2 in this division because the Dolphins and Patriots are going to be a little bit better than what people thought. But it's also, I think this could easily be a trap game, and the Dolphins could sneak in the win. So that won't shock me. But I'm still going to go with the Bills. On a personal note, in my other fantasy league, I do have Josh Allen at quarterback, so I do want him to play well. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going with the Bills. But won't be shocked if the Dolphins pull it out. So I got Buffalo. Next up, we got the 1-0 49ers traveling to face the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be interesting from both sides.
I'm going to... Oh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the 49ers. The Eagles had a good game against the Falcons, which they call the Dirty Birds.
Oh.
But, I mean, the way Garoppolo's playing, I know with Kittle and the defense is back, Bosa, so I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers, but it wouldn't shock me if for some reason the Eagles start off 2-0 and all of a sudden we're like, what's going on over there? But I mean, I think this Eagles win, everyone was probably looking too much into it. I'm still not sold completely on them. I still think they got a lot of issues to unfold in the back office and that stuff. But I didn't like the way the 49ers blew that lead against the Lions. So the defense should have a better showing here. So based on that and them getting things back on track, 49ers are the safest way to go. I'll be safe on this bet.
Right.
49ers. Next up, we got a good one here. It's the Los Angeles Rams at 1-0 traveling to face Carson Wentz, who, damn it, that would have changed things for week 1 for me, but even though we won in our picks. Traveling to face the Indianapolis Colts at 0-1.
I'm going to go with... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay.
I'm going to ride them into week 2 with Stafford. I know Aaron Donald had some trouble trying to get to Dalton. Like the offense is really good at posting him up, but I mean, it's Aaron Donald, so there's some time where he's going to get in.
Yeah.
And this is against Wentz. It's hard because I like the Colts. I'm not... But I got to go Rams for the safe.
I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going with the Colts.
Oh, man.
I look at that first half of the Rams-Bears game, and it was like really close. And if you're asking me who's the better quarterback, Andy Dalton or Carson Wentz, I'm going to go Wentz. And I think if you ask him to capitalize on, I'm not going to say like 4th and 9, but they won't be put in situations like that. I think Indianapolis has the better run game, and they got some pretty good weapons where I think they'll be able to move the ball a little bit better. Plus, they're going to be at home, so... I think the Rams will be humbled a little bit. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go Colts here, and the Carson Wentz comeback will start. So we'll see what happens there. I'm risking it. I'm risking my record, but I got to take some chances here. Anything else on this game?
No. Good.
All right, we got a couple more noon games to talk about here. Next one is the Las Vegas Raiders at 1-0. Traveling to face the Pittsburgh Steelers at 1-0. Two surprising teams that won from week 1. So
the Raiders were a little bit of a surprise on that Ravens win. I'm gonna pick them because I don't trust the Steelers just yet. I know Juju and Ben are having some issues like trying to get in sync. I haven't really heard about that running back that they picked at 25 in this past draft. So I mean, I gotta go Raiders.
I'm going to go Steelers. They're at home. I trust that front 7 to do a better job against Derek Carr, so disrupt them a little bit. He won't be too comfortable. I think the Raiders are they're probably on a little high right now after that big Monday night win. Usually when a team like that's usually not like favored to win a game like that, and they usually come back down the second week. So
right.
I feel like the Steelers are going to keep it close. Steelers, I mean, let's not forget they did go like 13-0 last season before it all came apart. So Mike Tomlin knows how to keep this crew intact. And again, I trust that front 7 to do a better job than the Ravens against Derek Carr. So I'm going with the Steelers at home.
All right.
Next up, we got Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals at 1-0. Traveling to face the Chicago Bears, 0-1. You can go ahead and go here.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. We were talking about this earlier, where I said that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were connecting. He was throwing, and this is against Vikings defense. So, what happened with the Bears? I think it's gonna happen again. It's gonna continue, and I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I think Burrow and Chase are gonna ball out again.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Bears. I know we're differing on a lot of our picks.
Wow.
Yes, Burrow and Chase were connecting. I think this Bears defense was a little better than the Vikings a little bit. Maybe not by much. But here's the thing. Do I trust the Bengals defense to... Because if they do this package of Fields and Dalton, I think they can try some trick stuff here, and they'll get...
Yeah, but... Okay, so you in the Vikings, you have Thielen, you have Dalvin Cook, Cousins... And they won. The Bears, you have, Dalton, Singletary, and then Allen Robinson.
I mean, really? I mean, I just trust the Bears to do a better job because I don't like that offensive line of the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow's gonna get banged up again. I think he was limping at some point during that game. So
your record, not mine.
I mean, just watch. Remember this game, folks. Remember this. We'll come back to this one, but next week. But yeah, I'm going with the Bears.
All right.
Next up, we got the Houston Texans at 1-0. Were they the only ones that won out of the AFC South?
Yes.
Who would have thought that? No, I bet you know. Anybody that picked the Texans to win week 1, like, you're a fucking liar. You're a fugazi. Like, nobody picked them.
Yeah, hell no.
So, anyways, they're 1-0, traveling to face the Cleveland Browns at 0-1. I'll start here. Browns are going to bounce back. They're going to be a really good team. I think this is a game where you're going to see like Chubb and Landry and even OBJ. They're going to have crazy numbers. Baker too. So if you have him in fantasy, I do trust that.
OBJ's out.
Oh, he's out. Okay. Out. Well, either way, all the other players, Hunt, Chubb, whoever, they're going to have points this week. So if you've got them in your fantasy teams, line them up this week because they're going to do well.
You got
the defense.
You got tight ends. I know Njoku and Hooper are going to ball out.
Yeah.
And not to forget Jadeveon Clowney,
who had nothing to do.
He had nothing to do with that game. He had a tackle for a loss. He had two solos. Jadeveon Clowney's going to get on Tyrod Taylor. This is going to be the game.
You know what? If this ends up being the game where Clowney balls out and be like, it's the fucking Texans.
Oh man,
talk to me when it's
that's your freaking narrative, man. Well, obviously, I'm going for the Browns because of Jadeveon. I'm going for the Browns. I don't think the Texans are going to be playing like they did in Week 1. It was against the damn Jaguars. So this is a hell of a lot different defense. Myles Garrett. Is that his name? Yeah, good God. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, the real star of that defense.
Yeah, no. Clowney fucking makes him better. Whatever. Anyway, I got the Browns.
All right, next up, another noon game. It's the New Orleans Saints at 1-0, another division game, traveling to face the Carolina Panthers, also 1-0. The NFC South, watch out. Everybody, I think minus the Falcons, won. This could be, it's a division game. It could be tighter than what we expect. I'm going to pick the Saints, but for the Panthers, if they want to win, got to get a big, heavy dose of McCaffrey, and they got to get ball control, and Darnold's got to play decent enough to just, win. If they can win the time of possession, I think they can win this game, but I'm going to pick the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints. The Panthers played the Jets, which is why Darnold had a good game. Like you said, they got to get McCaffrey in the game. But the Saints defense, it shut down Rodgers, it shut down Aaron Williams. So I'm gonna have to go Saints. I'm gonna play it safe.
All right. Next up, we got our afternoon games that start at 3 or wherever, depending where you're at, folks. We got the Minnesota Vikings at 0-1, traveling to face the Arizona Cardinals at 1-0. Let me start here again. NFC West is going to be the toughest division in all of football. I think the only time you're going to start seeing losses from those teams is when they play each other. The Cardinals impressed the hell out of me. I was expecting more out of the Titans, and with the addition of Julio Jones and all that stuff, but they wet the bed for me. But Arizona did some good stuff here, and right now Kyler Murray's playing a hell of a lot better than Kirk Cousins. And again, the Cousins lose the locker room with all this anti-vax stuff and whatever, all the stuff with COVID. This is Mike Zimmer going to be on the hot seat this year if the Vikings can get it done?
He has to be.
But yeah, I'm going Arizona here, and they'll start off 2-0. This NFC West is going to be incredible.
You're going Cardinals?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Chandler Jones balled out with 5 sacks.
Yes.
Also, DeAndre Hopkins, they didn't lose a step with him and Kyler Murray. Vikings, I don't think I trust them just yet. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. They look really good.
Okay. Next up, another division matchup. The 0-1 Atlanta Falcons traveling to face the Super Bowl champion, reigning defending Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1-0. Tampa at home again.
I'm going to go with the Bucs, of course. This is no way in hell I'm going to go against them. I'm going to go with the Bucs. Tom Brady and company are going to come back. They're going to pick up where they left off against the Cowboys. Matt Ryan is just going to look like he's lost. I don't know why they call him Matty Ice. He's not that clutch anymore.
I've never called him that anymore.
I called him way back then. He's not clutch anymore. They have Pitts. Pitts should have gone to Dallas. Either way, moving forward, I'm going to go with the Bucs big in this one.
I don't have the Bucs D starting this week. I'm kind of scared that this might be a shootout again for some reason. I don't know why. They're just, again, divisional matchup. But man, of course I'm not going to pick the Falcons.
I was like,
but
I thought you were leaning towards.
I gotta put it in context. Like the Bucs defense didn't play well like on Thursday against the Cowboys. I got to look at facts right now, and the fact that they lost Sean Murphy Bunting, that's a big blow. So Matt Ryan could get some easy touchdowns going on the deep end. So
maybe
this could be another score fest. It wouldn't shock me if this was a 34-31 type game.
Get out of here, Robert. You're going to put the Falcons at 31 points? They only scored 6 against Philly.
My dad mentioned this. The Bucs defense are slow starting and then towards like the middle end of the season when they pick it up. So
if the Falcons score that much, I'll bring you 2 hot dogs with chili and cheese on it from the theater. God,
I'll take it either way.
Holy cow!
But no, of course I'm picking the Bucks. I mean, I hope I'm wrong in my assessment here, but
jeez.
Hey, Abe, I gotta go with information. Like Colin Cowherd, when new information is brought to me and data, like you gotta put it into your analysis. Like you're gonna tell me the Bucks defense played great on Thursday?
That's the Cowboys, though. They're a high-powered offense.
Doesn't matter.
This is the Falcons.
This is the same Bucks defense that kept the Chiefs to 9 points in the Super Bowl. Come on. What do you got to say to that? Against Mahomes?
Yeah, but
what?
What I'm talking about is you're giving the Falcons 31 points. You think they're going to score 31 points?
I said it could be.
No,
I said it could be that.
You're saying it could be a shootout. Are you listening to yourself?
They went into a shootout with them last season.
How do you call yourself a Bucks fan, Tom Brady fan, and you're going to fucking say that the damn Falcons are going to score 31 points?
Yeah, because
you mean to tell me they were at home?
Because you underestimate the division battle of it all.
No. Matt Ryan.
They went into a shootout last year.
Who does he have? Calvin Ridley?
Do you remember last year when the Bucks went down?
That was last year when they had Julio. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, get out of here with that Fugazi stats shit. 31 points. No.
Back to this game,
No, Robert, I want you to explain 31 points. I mean, the Cowboys, that's the Cowboys, but who?
What do you mean? You act like the Cowboys are like this, like amazing?
The Falcons' offensive line is trash. Jake Ramirez could be on there on the offensive guard and still get pancaked. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. 31 points? That is bizarre.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, and if they don't score 31 points, you're going to apologize to the people out there that listen to our show because that's ridiculous.
Sure, because unlike you and people like Jake Ramirez y'all don't accept it. You'll deflect to something else. I will be a man and I will come on here.
I give credit when credit is due, which is why I said Stafford blew my mind away because he fucking.
But I was harder on Stafford than you were.
But you're telling me the fucking Falcons? Oh my gosh!
I'm just saying, watch out.
31 points. If they don't score more than 6, like they did this past game, get out of here. Robert.
Watch out.
No,
watch out.
All right, I'm done with this.
All right, let's move on. These are the later 3 o'clock games, or depending where you're at. The 0-1 Tennessee Titans traveling to face the Seattle Seahawks at home. The return of the 12th man. This is the first time you'll have Seahawks fans in attendance. It's going to be a madhouse.
I'm going to take this.
Seahawks big.
Are you going Seahawks? I'm going Seahawks. I don't want to say anything else because the Titans, they just look like they're with their heads cut off. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm going to go Seahawks because there's just no way. The Titans, I mean, they're going to be in a slump. Seahawks.
Yeah. Seahawks big, folks. This is going to be an interesting one coming up next. The 0-1 Dallas Cowboys traveling to face the Los Angeles Chargers at 1-0, the home of Super Bowl 56.
So
I like Justin Herbert big here in this game.
You going or am I? I'll go.
No, go ahead.
I'll go. The fucking media and the fans out there, you Dallas Cowboy fans out there, saying that the Cowboys are going to go 8-1 by the time we play Kansas City Chiefs. Do you dumbasses know that we play San Diego Chargers with Bosa and Herbert, who's balling out, and what's Alker, or who's the running back? Eckler. You mean to tell me that the Cowboys are going to bounce back? No! Chargers will win this game.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chargers as well. Justin Herbert showed out against that Washington defense.
Yeah.
And, their O-line got a little better. And, again, I don't trust that Cowboys defense. Those losses are going to be huge.
If they have Brown as the corner again, oh, hell yeah. Who is it? Keenan Allen is going to have another field day. He's going to look like a 20-year-old Keenan Allen if they face him up against Brown. And my God, yeah, Washington's defense, I'm high on them. They're a badass defense, and even they couldn't contain Herbert. And you think the Cowboys are going to do that?
I think this is going to be a shootout also. But I like Herbert more.
Possibly, but if Bosa has his way, because we're out with Lyle Collins because of a suspension. So
that too.
Yep.
Yes, so many stuff with the Cowboys.
Yeah, right, so I'm going Chargers. I have to. I'm sorry. I love the Cowboys. That's my team, but I got to be realistic.
Yeah, I talked real good about them, but you know me, I've been on the Herbert train since he started last year.
But it's like I told you that with the Cowboys, like something can go right, and then for a fact something's going to come back and bite him in the ass, and that always happens where something happens, like they have this lead, and then.
Well, I'm sure like Cowboys fans are feeling themselves after this loss with the Bucks. Like, yeah, like
fuck Fuck you,
show
Zerloin.
that.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Y'all picked up a kicker, though, no?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Some Pro Bowler. He has some long-ass name, so I'm not going to pronounce it.
All right, so we're both on the Chargers here. See, this is why I love Abe. He's like he's not a Homer Cowboys fan. He just went on a little wrestling promo there. Loved it. Try to go after me for the Bucks Falcons.
Oh, my
We'll circle back to that.
Yes.
I'll be right in the end.
If they score 31 points, that could be our first fucking topic that we talk about next
for
week.
sure. We'll lead with that. All right, now we come to our Sunday night NBC football matchup of the week. I think it's the game of the week. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at 1-0 traveling to face the Baltimore Ravens at 0-1. Lamar Jackson has never beaten Patrick Mahomes. Do you expect that trend to continue? I'll let you go first.
Yes, it's going to continue. As much as I want to pick the Ravens to win, kind of bounce back, I know they're at home, but they have some issues with the running back. I know they have Le'Veon Bell now playing. And then I know they picked up Devontae Freeman on the practice squad, and I think he's going to make the roster. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chiefs. Just Mahomes. It's Mahomes.
We're gonna start to hear stuff about like, are the Ravens ever gonna? The Chiefs are This is basically like, I'm not comparing the two, but like this is Manning Brady, where he could never beat Brady, like in the biggest moments, in the biggest games.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Chiefs, I think, are going to come out of the gate like super hot. They may start out like 10-0, and then like once we get post Thanksgiving, you'll start seeing them lose a couple of tough games. But again, I know deep down inside, like they're angry after that Super Bowl, so they have a huge chip on their shoulder, which could be bad news for everybody else. Do you think it's going to be a close game, or do you think it's going to be like a blowout?
I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. It might come down to like a field goal. Yeah. You going with Chiefs?
I'm going with the Chiefs. I do think it's going to be kind of a rout a little bit. I'm looking like a 31-17 type game. But I don't know. Maybe the Ravens are going to play matter. I didn't see that game Monday, so I can't really put an analysis on how that team's feeling or what exactly went down in that whole situation.
Right.
Anything else on this game?
No.
All right. Lastly, we got Monday Night Football. The 0-1 Detroit Lions versus my fantasy football quarterback on the line. The Green Bay Packers, also 0-1 divisional game. I'm expecting the Packers to bounce back huge. But if they lay another egg, is it safe to say like that? I don't know. Rodgers is just tanking the season, doesn't care. But I feel like he wouldn't want to do that to the Green Bay fans.
Well, no, not only that, but I figured we were talking about off air, this is like his money year, to make that money, and I don't see him playing like that again. And if he does, then if they lose to the Lions,
well, you pick the Lions though.
At that point, do you bring in Love? Like, do you insert Love now? Do you trade? Or I know they have a week 6 deadline of trading.
Yeah.
Do you trade?
Somebody brought that up this week. I forgot who, and was like, do you just trade Aaron Rodgers?
Do you trade him? But even Devontae Adams isn't even in it. Like, he's not feeling it. So do you send one here and another one there? Do you start piling up the picks? What do you do? If Aaron Rodgers, if you lose to the Lions.
But you haven't made
I'm
a pick
picking
yet?
the Packers.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really don't expect Aaron Rodgers to have that kind of game. But if he does, that's what I'm hypothetically like.
Yeah.
Do you? What happens? Do you still stick with him and go to week 3 or what?
Tuesday's going to be really fun if they lose. So
are you going Packers?
Oh yeah, because it needs to go down. Because if not, for fantasy's sake, Mac Jones is coming into play for me. Like there's no questions about it.
But let's go back into that though. If Rodgers does bomb again, do you trade him? Do you think he gets traded?
Oh gosh, if he doesn't want to be there, but also I would have to see Jordan Love overperforming and doing way better to the point where they're like, okay, let's just go with this guy.
So let's say they lose. Let's say hypothetically they lose to the Lions. They bench Rodgers going into week 3. They have Love play. Love doesn't really connect. Do they go back to Rodgers? I think at that point it's a mess because I don't even know if they have a third stringer.
Yeah.
So, I said, I don't expect Rodgers to do this, have this performance again. But
I know we're all worried here. But then by the time Tuesday comes around, it could just be this could be a 38-10.
I think he'll blow them out if he comes back. from that game with a vengeance. I think he's going to blow the shit out of the Lions like they always do.
Thank God. Please, for fantasy's sake. I can't go 0-2 in Abe's league, so after all that shit talking I was doing. So it may come back to bite me. But yeah, those are all the week 2 matchups. I think we went a lot of different ways in a lot of the matchups here, so we definitely will have a definitive winner for the standings come next week because our picks were way different on a lot of the stuff. So things to look forward to. What's your game of the week? Is it Chiefs Ravens or anything else on the docket that you want to see?
Besides, I actually want to see the Rams Colts, how that plays out.
That'll be good.
I want to see that one.
Bills Dolphins will be really good.
Bills and Dolphins, just because that's my upset one that I have, and then I also want to see how the Chiefs Ravens kind of plays out, and then of course the Packers Lions. I want to see. I'm actually going to watch that game come off. So I actually want to see. And go from there. So a couple of games that I'm excited for that I want to see.
I want to see if Jameis is the real deal. So if he has another 4 or 5 touchdown game against the Panthers,
okay, so
watch out.
So
watch out. The Saints might be.
And that's because they're without Michael Thomas, and then once you get Michael Thomas in, jeez,
we'll see.
So
a lot of interesting games. I think the Cowboys Chargers will be fun.
That'll be a good game. A little worried, but yeah, I think that'll be a good game.
Good week 2 coming up. Anything else you want to before we sign off here? Anything else we need to talk about?
No. Nothing major. We got everything going.
Cool. We did talk about a lot, and we didn't really go long. It felt like we went longer. We haven't really. We've only gone an hour.
We got some people that want to guest. I'm still waiting for Roger Trevino.
Oh yeah,
I'm still waiting.
I will get in contact with him. I know he's in high demand everywhere, but I will try to get him on this show sooner rather than later. So, buddy, if you're listening, and I'll be in touch with you soon. But do you have other people on the docket that want to come on the show?
I have a buddy that's calling me out on Matthew Stafford. I hope he's impressed with today's podcast because I talk really good about Stafford.
He's on the Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, he's on the Matthew Stafford, and he was texting me, and he was like, "Oh, look at that, Stafford looks good." And I'm like, "It's only the first game," but he did look.
He did good.
He looked good. So, also, yeah. So anybody that wants to come on, it's not really what is it, like a debate type?
No, it's just more like we give our thoughts.
Yeah,
some people will lose their mind, like Abe on my Falcons Buccaneers.
I wish somebody was here for that pick because I'm gonna if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna give you shit for that.
I win either way because if the Bucks blow them out, it's the Bucks. Well, it's Brady. Come on,
that's your narrative. That's
I'm a heel, Abe.
Yeah,
that's how I work.
Man.
Everybody knows me. That's how I work. Can't beat me.
Yeah, well, I'm
excited. Congratulations, Jake. I'm going to end it on this, all right?
And you know what?
I'm going to give him all the props in the world.
Hold on, Robert, because actually I'm going to throw this out there. You lost with him having 2 players with 0 points, and you still got blown out by 29.
I played Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones
29 points. It was 109 to 89.
I laid an egg. I was just as bad as Aaron Rodgers was in week 1.
I didn't expect that performance from you at all. I was like,
even Brady got his ass kicked last year 38-3, so everybody gets one, okay? Yeah. Jake Ramirez, congratulations on your Week 1 fantasy win. We will play each other again, and I promise you it'll be a different story.
There'll be 2 because you picked the damn Falcons.
So everybody in Abe's league, the Expendables, be on the lookout. Palace will be there towards the end, and I'm going to make a deep run in the playoffs. You heard it here first. Damn it.
The trip in Dallas, it'll be me, but I'm going to represent.
You're going to represent this podcast.
I'm going to represent the pod. Hopefully, we get the merch, the shirts.
We got our logo, folks. So you're going to see that when this episode pops up. Abe's going to start working on some T-shirts. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We're not really in the market for trying to sell stuff right now.
Well,
but
maybe do a contest.
We could probably do a contest. Again, we're always open for guests to come on. Just shoot Abe an email or. However the kids contact, send them a TikTok. I don't know. I don't know if you have TikTok.
I'm too old for TikTok, man. I don't have TikTok.
Get into DMs,
Twitter,
text them, call them, whatever. If you know them, if you're up for it, I'm not somebody here that's gonna laugh at your analysis or anything like that. Got to be open to everything.
Can I say something real quick? And for the people out there that are interested in coming onto the show, can you please, like, only serious inquiries?
Yes.
Like, I don't want somebody to say, oh, I want to get on that show, and then when I tell you, hey, we're doing it Wednesday, and then you're like, oh, I can't make it. That's it. You know, we want people that are going to be dedicated, that want to come on here and say something. Just serious inquiries. If you want to call me or email Robert or whatever you want to do, just please be serious about it.
Sweet. We'll end it on that. That's a good way to end it. You can follow this podcast on Spotify. Search Palace Off the Top Rope. It pops up on that feed there. I do share this link through all my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram through podbean.com. You can download the app there. You can listen on your phone, your iPhone if you're an Apple person. Hit that subscribe button on the Apple Podcast app. We greatly appreciate that. Give us all the stars, all the ratings, comments, good or bad, what you want to hear. If you want to come on the show, say, hey, let me on. All for it. Like I said, we got our logo officially made. Much thanks to Sammy Flores, who's been a guest on this show. Friend of mine from back home in Laredo. Did a really good job with it. I hope you all like it. Comment on it as well. He did a really fucking amazing job with it. So much thanks to him.
Yeah, nice logo. It was nice.
And I'm still working on getting the theme music. So still on the inquiries about that. So if anybody knows of anybody that does music, actual music for the show, not a video intro. You know, maybe one day down the road we'll do an episode that's video and we'll make something of it. But right now this is an audio podcast. So I'm looking for audio music, like a theme song, like an intro. Real quick, 15, 30-second type thing, intro, outro. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm still on the lookout for that. But our logo, you'll see it. Yeah. That's going to do it. For Abraham Trevino, I'm Palace. This has been the SM Football Marks podcast. We'll see you next week.